Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be continuing our conversation about offsets. In this video specifically, we're talking about the Windfall Elimination Provision and how it applies to you. Please make sure to watch the video in its entirety so that you don't miss maybe some sort of minor detail that could pertain to you and impact the benefits that you receive from Social Security. So the Windfall Elimination Provision is a pension offset policy meant to reduce your Social Security whenever you're simultaneously entitled to a separate pension outside of the Social Security program. So essentially what this means is that whether you worked inside or outside the United States, any pension that you have paid into and are eligible and entitled to while receiving Social Security benefits, your benefit will be offset depending on how many years of coverage that you have. If you don't know what a year of coverage is, please watch my previous video and it explains that. The Windfall Elimination Provision can affect how Social Security calculates your retirement or your disability benefits. So it doesn't matter whether you're drawing retirement at an older age or if you're a younger person and have filed for disability. Again, if you're receiving a pension that is not covered under Social Security taxes while you receive something from Social Security, this offset will apply to you. And it's in regards to benefits under your own record. So if you applied for benefits as maybe a widow or a disabled widow under somebody else's record, then that's where the government pension offset comes into play and not WEP, which the government pension offset will be the next video that I do. If you work for an employer who doesn't withhold Social Security taxes from your salary, any retirement or disability pension you get from your work can reduce your Social Security benefits. Such an employer may be a government agency or an employer in another country. So basically what this is saying is, the obvious one here is work outside the United States. So this would be like if you had a pension from the UK or Germany, Belgium, whatever the case may be. If it's outside the United States, even Canada, if it's outside the United States, then you're going to experience the Windfall Elimination Provision under your own record. As far as within the United States, this is usually like teachers, firefighters, police officers, first responders, and it's usually when they work for a government municipality like a city, a county, or a state entity, and they pay into their own private pension system. As an example, if you're a teacher in a state with a teacher's retirement system, often referred to as a TRS, you might be paying into a pension system not covered under Social Security, and it would be offset. So as an example of this, I'm sure Florida calls their teacher's retirement system a teacher's retirement system. But as far as I know, they pay Social Security taxes on their wages. But if you're a teacher in, let's say, Ohio, you have the Ohio State Teachers Retirement System, and they do not pay into Social Security. They pay into their own pension system. Okay, so keep that in mind. Another thing to note, too, is let's say that you worked for a TRS that was not covered under Social Security, and maybe you worked there long enough to become vested into that pension system, but you left and you didn't do all of your time there to be eligible for a full pension. Sometimes people will cash out these pensions, and in certain cases, somebody will tell you, oh, well, we'll roll it over into, I want to say it's a 403B, and then it won't be counted by Social Security, and so you'll be good. This is incorrect because Social Security will view that action as a distribution of non-covered pension funds, and they'll count it from the time that you distribute it. They'll look at the total balance, and then they'll prorate it based off of, I want to say, your age at the time you did it and the year that you did it. And they'll prorate it into a monthly amount and count it that way. Okay, so be very careful if that's something you're thinking about doing, or if that's something that you've already done. If the action was already completed, then just know when you go to file for retirement that should come up. When your benefits can be affected, the following provisions can affect you if both of them are true. You earn a retirement or a disability pension from an employer who didn't withhold Social Security taxes, or you qualify for Social Security, retirement, or disability benefits from work and other jobs, which you did pay taxes. So basically, and then the next thing too, the windfall elimination provision can apply if one of the following was true: you reach retirement age after 85, or you developed a qualifying disability after 85. So really, this blurb is talking about the generation prior to the baby boomers, and the reason being is because they're an older set of people who had realistically a full work history before this law was implemented, so they kind of got grandfathered in. So anybody doing anything with a non-covered pension after 85, again, the baby boomers realistically, or practically, might be a better word, then these things will apply to you in that regard. The WEP guarantee is basically it's a law that basically says if you have let's say that you needed to work at an entity for 3 years to become vested into this non-covered pension, and you worked there for that 3 years, and then maybe you left, and now you're eligible for, I don't know, like $80 a month or something like that. It basically says that Social Security can only reduce your benefits so much because your pension is so low. Is basically what that entails. Okay, so what does this mean for me, and who does this most commonly affect? Again, I would say that the people that this most commonly affects is teachers, police officers, and firefighters, because those are usually like 99% of the time, those are the people who are paying into these non-covered pensions. In my expertise, I've never seen a private company, let's say like Staples as an example, I've never heard of them establishing a private pension system. Maybe unions, I think, would be the closest entity to that, but even still, maybe not. It probably depends on your state and where you live, and more than likely, you're going to know. You're going to know if that's the case for you. If you're uncertain, I would say take a look at your pay stub and see if you have Social Security and Medicare taxes coming out. If you don't see anywhere in your pay stub where those deductions are coming out, I would say your next move should be to call HR and verify. Am I paying Social Security taxes on my wages and into this pension system or not? And they should be able to give you a straight answer. And here's a little breakdown on how Social Security essentially is going to offset your benefits. So you have your, sorry about that. You have your, what's going on? You have your primary insurance amount. Your primary insurance amount is just a fancy way of saying this is the amount of money you would get at your full retirement age, right? So this would be before any sort of offset. Then you have the maximum windfall elimination provision offset of 2023. It's $557.50. So no matter, realistically, let's say that your pension was $10,000 a month, the maximum offset of your Social Security is going to be $557. So after the adjustment, this would lower your primary insurance amount to $442. Again, this would be at your full retirement age if this was the situation. So let's say that you're 62 and you're considering filing for early retirement benefits. Depending on what year you were born would determine the amount of reduction that you would have. Let's just say it's a 25% reduction, right? So what's going on here? This $442.50 would be further reduced because you're asking for benefits at an earlier age. Then on top of that, let's say, you can see over here, I have another calculation post adjustment for WEP. So let's say that you're 65 and you're taking Medicare Part B, and then maybe you have a third-party drug plan that helps you with your prescriptions or something like that, or your co-pays, whatever it may be, and then maybe you have tax withholding too. So these are all things to consider. You're going to file for Social Security benefits. It's really in your best interest to do as much research as possible. I tried to make this video a little bit shorter and go over kind of like the broad scope of who it would cover in generalities. I can't stress enough that each individual person, no matter how similar you are to your friend, your family member, your coworker, your twin, whatever the case may be, their situation is completely different than yours. and it benefits you tremendously to plan. The younger you are when you start your planning, even if it's just learning, again, terms, definitions, things like what I'm doing with these videos, it benefits you significantly, because I have talked to people who have sat down, asked no questions, and they're ready to retire at 62, and now they're getting hit with all this information. They're thinking that they're going to get this $1,000 over here, but they don't realize at 62 that they're going to be reduced for their age. They don't realize that their non-covered work is going to offset their benefits. Then at 65, they're going to sign up for Medicare, and maybe it gets to a point where maybe after all those things, they don't have enough to pay for Medicare, and it's just, unfortunately, it's heartbreaking. So do your due diligence for yourself. Nobody is going to care more than you. If you had additional questions, you wanted to know more about your specific situation, that's why I started this business, I know that I can do a better job than the federal government and give you the information that you're looking for. And if that sounds like you and that's what you're looking for, go to my website. You can schedule a free consultation at www.socialbenefitadvisors.com. And with that, this is going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, you learned something, you got something out of it, please give it a like. It does help out the algorithm and push this video out to other people such as yourself that are looking for this information and trying to plan. If you had a question, leave a comment down below. I'll be sure to reply to it as soon as I can. And if I would recommend subscribing to the channel and turning your bell notifications so that you're notified whenever I post new content. The next video is going to be for the government pension offset. This would be pertaining to people filing under somebody else's record. So whether you're maybe a widow or a disabled widow or a widower, and you're eligible for a non-covered pension, the next video would pertain to you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more.